Hey guys, welcome to another episode from Stacy Here We Grow Again. Today we're going to talk about my beautiful orchid here. So we have been repotting a lot of things around here. I got some soil the other day and I've been getting down to it and repotting my succulents. You can see I'm going to make some arrangements and stuff here. I got those together. I did this little succulent pot. It's really cute. We're going to do these together. So today we're just going to talk about orchids, and I just want to show you guys, I do a lot around here. So I learned everything based off of growing it myself and starting myself and learning the plant, get one of a plant and learn about it first, put it in its own pot, study it, learn how it grows, and then you can start adding to your collection like I do. I have over 150 plants that I take care of by hand, each one individually. And this orchid I learned from experience, and I just got this one actually not even a year ago now. It's probably almost a year, but what I need to do is repot her. Now orchids are like air plants, so they get these aerial roots. Aerial roots grow out of the potting medium. So this is your potting medium, which is your orchid bark and your sphagnum moss. So it's just little orchid chips which come in a bag like this, called orchid bark. They have tons of different kinds, guys. They have ones with sphagnum moss already in it and a potting medium in it, but I like to get just the wood chips because I utilize wood chips in my other pots as well, like for my succulent containers. Like this one I put together, you can see I put some wood chips in here just to kind of hold them in place, because these wood chips don't really hold too much moisture and rot my succulents out too much. And you can see that, it just brightens up your pot a little bit if you just shove a few little chips in there, in and around your pots. So I like to get just the orchid bark because we're on a budget around here. We have limited space, limited pots and stuff. So I like to get things that I can utilize through everything, like my soil and stuff like that, nutrients. So what you want to get is the orchid bark. You can get the orchid medium. They have a special orchid bark mix, which is for a special type of orchids. Now this is, I believe, a moon orchid. So this is going to get pretty big. Now she had this set on her, this set, 2 leaves on this side and like 1 leaf on this side when I got her. And look at these crazy leaves already. She's nice. She's pushing out new growth. And then these are aerial roots, guys. So you have your roots in the potting medium, which is your orchid bark and your sphagnum moss. I had some left over here. Sphagnum moss. It's just little moss, and it holds moisture really well and it dries out really well. Now orchids grow in between the crotches of trees, so they develop these aerial roots like these. I'm sorry about the pausing with the camera, guys. I have not figured out my other camera yet because my plants need my attention and I have to repot a lot of things around here, so please bear with me with the video quality, but I'm hoping you guys get something out of this, at least until I get my camera fixed. But these are air plants, and these grow in crotches of trees just like the orchid does, and they really don't require, they don't have any roots, these guys. So they grow roots, but you can cut them off, and they only grow roots to latch onto things, these air plants. And these get sprayed quite a bit in the summer. I spray them in between my soaking method. So I soak my air plants in a bowl of water. Either rainwater is best for your plants. I love collecting my rainwater. I have videos on it if you guys need help. But they grow in crotches of trees, and I soak them maybe twice a week, my air plants. And that's kind of like what a bromeliad is. So it develops these aerial roots, and a lot of people cut these, but look how healthy they are. They are fine. So if you have an orchid that's growing out of its pot like this, that is normal. It's supposed to be doing that. But what you can do, if it's ugly to you and you don't like that, what we can do is repot it. So you want to go a size up. Now this was about $4 in Lowe's. I got it on sale. And this is a terracotta pot. It loves being in a terracotta pot. You can use a plastic one too, like a black one. But I really like to use the terracotta. And you can see, you just want to fit that pot inside the other one. You can see it's a step up. And it's going to tuck all them roots in. You don't want to cut any roots off unless they're dead. So we're going to take this out, and it's going to make a mess, guys. So do it outside. Or get a bag and put it under a bag like this. And we're going to transplant this. I want to show you just how easy it is. You don't want to disturb any of the roots. Now if you cut the roots off your orchid, it's going to stall out because it's not supposed to be cut. And sometimes they come with a rod on it. We're just going to take that off because that rod is to hold this flower stalk on, which you can see pushed out a flower. And I don't cut my stalks all the way off. I don't know why, I just don't. I let them do their thing. And we're just going to lift her up really, really easily. And we're going to get, her roots are going to be stuck on this potting medium, guys. So she will, any roots that are underneath and in this potting medium, believe it or not, they're going to disintegrate like a compost pile. So they will start rotting out. Look at this. They were aerial roots that were pushed down in the pot when I transplanted. And look at that. Do you see that rot on half of this? Look at this. This is no good. So roots like this, you want to trim back. You want to trim up until you don't see that rot no more. Right there, we're going to take off. I don't have scissors. Oh, of course I don't. I never have my tools. Hang on, guys. I got scissors. Sorry. I'm so sorry about that pausing in my camera system, guys. I'm so angry that I have a new camera and I can't even use it. So I really appreciate you guys bearing with me, you know, in these videos. I just love to do these videos for you, and I can't not post anything. So we're going to post with our phone in the meantime, to just teach you guys and show you guys what's up around here. I've been replanting so much stuff. So we're freshening pots up, we're freshening this up so she can be healthy, and just want to cut back those dead ones. These are okay. So this I'm going to cut. I don't like that. So I'm going to cut. And the more you cut, the more she's going to get stalled. So, you know, make sure you're only cutting what's really necessary and what's really dead. You can see how healthy these roots are, the aerial roots out of the pot. Soil roots in the potting medium, look, they will die and disintegrate to nothing. So you really don't have to transplant your orchid if it's sticking out of the pot like that. But we are going to, because this is just getting way too big for that pot. I want to show you. See that? Can you see the difference between those roots? Now she might get stalled out a little bit when you're transplanting her. So just keep her in the same amount of sun. Indirect sunlight is where I keep my little gal. And she loves it. She only gets about maybe, I'd say right now with the time change, she's getting a little more sun than she usually does. In the summer, she only gets indirect sunlight all day long. She sits on my table. Right now, since the sun's changing, she's getting quite a bit. She's getting about 3-4 hours of sun at the end of the day. So we're just going to put our orchid bark, since I only have one hand, we're just going to cup it in here. We're just going to spread it around. You don't want to bury them too much. You don't want to break them roots. They're really sensitive and they do break. And just the more you break her, the more she's going to get shocked on you. We're not going to use the old potting medium because it's really broken down. So this has been in there for all its life. You see the difference with that soil? Not soil, orchid bark. This stuff's really fresh, and that stuff's like breaking down into mulch. But what we are going to do is put this orchid bark in our compost pile, I think. So we can utilize the leftover, the stuff that's broken down in this pot. We're going to compost it so we don't waste any of it. I can use that on my garden beds, whatever, you know. Utilize your leftover soil. Why not? You pay for it. It's still good. It'll break down in the grass just like it's breaking down in a compost here and give you your brown material instead of your leaves. You can put this with your leaves in your compost. And then the way you want to water orchids, guys, is just, see, you just cover the roots up. And that's plenty. We're not even going to put any more in there. I don't want to cover the roots up all the way because, like I said, they grow in crotches of trees, so they can just grow with aerial roots. They don't even have to be in a potting medium. You can totally put this orchid in here without a potting medium, but the potting medium, like the orchid bark here, it really helps to keep the plant stabilized so it doesn't go crazy on you. And we're going to make sure we put that stem back in there so we can keep this flower stalk up instead of to the side. So that's why I like that stand. And it just ties on. And that's it, guys. How I water this is just spray it with a sprayer, douse it down. And I usually use magnesium maybe once every 2 weeks on her. She's due for it. You can see she's yellowing. She's going to start shedding bottom leaves because she's really getting big. She's shooting out new growth. So she's going to start shedding the bottom. But to keep her really healthy and to keep her green like this, I really like to use the magnesium once every 2 weeks at a tablespoon per gallon of water. mix it up, and then transfer it into a sprayer. You can spray her down, and I only water her when these wood chips dry out. So when she's dry, usually it's twice a week. In the summer, it's a little more, maybe once every other day, but in the cooler weather, it's like twice a week, maybe once a week. They really are just easy plants to take care of and fun to have most of all. So indirect sunlight, guys, they don't require much. If you need sunlight, just a few hours. We are fixing our aloe here. So she was out of the sun. I forgot about this aloe plant inside for a while, and it's starting to shed bottom leaves, but we're gonna make it come back. It can come back just fine. It's doing good so far. So if your aloe looks like that, it needs sun, guys. I forgot about that. I have so many plants. But as far as orchids goes, as far as fertilizer goes, the only other thing is the Miracle Grow. It likes fertilizer. So a 10, 24, 16, you know, your nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Phosphorus and potassium, you know, usually need to be higher than the nitrogen. So this is a 24, 8, 16, perfect for orchids. They love it. I feed her with this. I use that at a tablespoon per gallon of water, maybe once a month. And then I just give her a little food, you know. I water with my little watering can, put a tray underneath, make sure she soaks that water up for a good 10 minutes or so with the nutrients in it. And that's it, guys. Till next time, I hope you enjoyed this video and that helps you replant your orchids. Make them a little prettier, but don't worry about them aerial roots, and don't cut too much, guys, because you will stall these little gals out. They don't like being messed with. They grow in the crotches of trees, so just remember that, you know, and remember to be light with the soil. You can see we have some sphagnum moss and this stuff in here, so I'm going to sift this out and save the sphagnum moss that's in here. I'm not going to put that in my compost. I'm going to save the sphagnum moss, and then I'm going to put the wood chips in the compost pile so they break down. You can see they're just really broken down and ugly. So they're spent. If you're spent like this, you need to transplant and just freshen it up with some nice bark. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. We're going to get transplanted and a lot of things around here. And you're going to have another video on succulents coming soon. I'm not sure, either today or tomorrow. We're getting a lot more stuff done in the garden, a lot more things planted. So please stay tuned if you want to see more to come. From Stacy, Here We Grow Again. Bye-bye.